All right, now what's your idea?
1 second.
Oh, okay. He's got to think of a new, better idea to kind of compete with mine. It's all right. Not everybody can take up the mantle. Hang on. Well, welcome back to this episode of Hang On with Nick and Blake. Now that's a good idea. Finally, we get to the heart of it.
Boom shakalaka.
Yeah.
Boom bam bam clickety clack. We're good. Okay, let's do competition. Let's do a thing.
We're bringing it back.
Yeah, I liked that segment.
I'm gonna say 2 words, and you're gonna say I'm in.
So let's go ahead and do 5 minutes competition.
Sure.
All right, I'll start the timer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to go first?
No, actually, I'm confident enough that mine is gonna be so good that we're gonna need more time, and I'd rather get whatever you got out of the way.
All right, I got my stopwatch going. I'm gonna let you go first. We can come back. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's my idea, and this will make a great
Clock's
gift
going
for Christmas.
Oh, I'm out.
It's called Car Club. And essentially what it is a company has like 20 or 30 cars, and you accumulate points through the month, and you can rent that car for however many days. And for a great gift idea is you can buy points into that car club. So if you want to drive around a sports car for a couple weeks, you can use your points for that. If you want something a little bit more practical, you can do that. So you're in. I can already tell.
All right. I don't hate the idea.
Uh-huh.
I'm confused, though, of how you accumulate the points.
You pay. It's money.
Okay, so you just pay
If you want to drive a 69 Corvette versus a 93, like there should definitely be some weighting on how much each one costs.
Why don't you just have a club with the cars? You pay some membership to join.
Yep. And you get so many points a month?
No, I like this idea a lot.
Yeah, you're glad I went first, huh?
Well, no,
I want to do...
I still like my idea better.
Really?
I think you're going to like my idea better.
Oh, man.
Well, I know you're going to like my idea better.
Damn.
Sorry, I was getting uncomfortable, so I had to take a
fine.
knee. So there's boat clubs that do a similar thing to kind of, and actually airplane clubs that do a similar thing. And I think this is how this would work. You would pay some initial joining fee, $3,000 or $4,000. That would get held in escrow or an account. I just wanted to say escrow.
Yeah, no, that's a good word. It's our business word of the week, actually. What a good segment.
If you'd been in the club for X amount of years or X amount of time, you'd get your full initial investment back. But like if you joined the club and then 6 months later left, you only got 50% of your investment back or something like that.
Okay,
I don't know.
that's nonsense. But get back to the cars.
And then you paid some monthly fee, $300 a month or $500 a month, or maybe you had different tiers. And then you were able to access any of the cars that the club owned.
Yeah.
And with your point system, maybe it was... Now, in the boat clubs and the airplane clubs, well, in the airplane clubs, you still pay by the hour. So maybe that's the way you do it as well. It's like, hey, you pay by the daily rental. So
I see this as sort of 2 ways of doing it. One, I need a car, and instead of paying a lease, I'm going to pay a little bit more and have flexibility in trying new cars. The other way I see this
this with just being like classic cars and like exotic car. Like I see this as being like, hey, I have a weekend off and I want to go drive this like really cool car.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like I just want to focus on the Corvettes because I've had a successful run of like people would drive a bunch of different Corvettes. You have a garage of all the Corvettes.
I think you have a Corvette club.
Yeah.
Like you could have like there's a Corvette club. You paid $4,000 to join. You pay $250 a month, and then you can rent any of the Corvettes for
like a Saturday
for $50 an hour or something like that. I mean, I'm just kind of spitballing on numbers, but yeah, I think you would. I think you could easily do that and easily have people who would be willing to join some.
And depending on how highbrow you got, somebody could drop off the Corvette Saturday morning and come pick it up in the evening, and you just get to drive around for the day.
Yeah, no, I totally. Yeah, you want to take your wife out on a date and you guys want to take, one of the Corvettes, like a classic Corvette. Your daughter is,
going to prom
on the homecoming court or whatever, and she needs a cool car to sit on the back of and wave to people. You got a Corvette. You got it right there. Yeah, I think that could be and there's enough people. Also, I think that'd be a lot easier to sell for people. Like, hey, honey, I'm going to buy this $100,000 Corvette, or hey, honey, I'm going to pay $200 a month to be a member of this club, and I get to drive a Corvette, mini Corvettes whenever I want. And I just have to pay this monthly subscription fee.
I like the idea of, like, I either want a classic Corvette for a Saturday to drive around with the wife, or on a Sunday.
I want a new Corvette to go on a road trip.
For the same amount of points, I can get like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm just driving it to work and having fun doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the price would all just have to vary on how much insurance was, obviously.
Yeah, forget all that technical stuff.
I'm just saying, because if you look at like exotic car rentals, to rent a nice car, not even like top of the line, but just like a nice car, I guess nicer than I'm talking about like a base model Ferrari or something like that.
We'll just get a good lawyer, in which case we're hiring these people in our company, and it's a company car.
No, I'm just saying they're charging like in the $2,000 to $3,000. Well, they're charging in the like $800 to $3,000 a day for some of these cars. So they obviously are priced to make money. I don't know. I guess with the club thing, part of it would be you'd have to keep it kind of small and select, like people have to put in applications, because then that would kind of deter people. If they're all part of a club, it deters people from doing stupid stuff with the car, or like ruining the car, or like messing it. They're going to want to take care of it because they feel like they have something invested in it. They're not just like, it's not just a rental car. It's like your club car. You know what I'm saying? And you could have like club events and like club, stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. Now, what's your idea?
1 second.
Oh, okay. He's got to think of a new, better idea to kind of compete with mine. It's all right. Not everybody can take up the mantle. He's currently Googling, I need a good business idea.
Okay. So it's interesting that you came up with an automotive themed business idea, because my business idea is also automotive themed.
Okay.
So, have you ever wanted to work on your own car, but you didn't have the tools or the garage space to work on your own car?
I hate you so much.
Why? I told you this is one we've already done. I told you this is one we've already talked about.
Okay, yeah, but I feel like this idea needs like a background. Like, now we're getting into the origin stories of the podcast.
No, I know, but I really like this idea, and I've been saving it for a rainy day, and today is that rainy day.
Okay, yep, go ahead.
One of the best ideas I think possibly one of the best ideas we've ever had. Maybe not the best, but one of the most doable ideas we've ever had. So anyway, have you ever wanted to work on your own car, but you haven't had the tools or the space?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even just changing my oil can be a real pain in the ass.
Yeah, because you got to pull your car up on ramps. You got to use your socket set from Harbor Freight or Walmart that you bought.
Freight. It's always inexpensive tools, and I always find a job where I need like one tool one time, and I got to go either rent it or buy it.
And now, or you're doing brakes, and you got your car half apart, and then you realize that you still need this other tool or this other part, but now your car is half apart, and you can't get to the parts store to get the thing that you need.
Yes. So I want a place or a guy to like help me do this.
Okay. So the idea is you have a automotive shop, but instead of having mechanics that work there, you can rent the bays out and the tools out for you to do the work on your own car.
So it's like one of those car washes where I wash my own car, where everything's there. I just pull in.
Except for it's automotive maintenance.
Interesting.
Each of the bays, there would be bays with lifts, bays without lifts, bays with a lot of tools, and bays with some just kind of like basic tools. There'd be kind of maybe some oil changing bays, some more like...
So let's say some fine gentleman backs into my car and I need some place to go spray paint. There's potentially a bay that's set up for like sanding and
potentially
painting.
a bay for paint chopping, potentially a bay for like like a really nice car wash bay for like detailing and stuff like that. Maybe some storage units for if you're keeping a project car.
So you're saying I could have a project car like that Mustang, and I don't have to keep it in my driveway?
No, you can keep it in your storage container on the premise of this business, and then when you want to work on it, it gets towed with one of our little car dollies to the bay that you've rented out, and then you can work on it.
And I get stuff shipped there. What if I needed would they sell oil and stuff so I could just pull up and change my oil?
No, I think you just have like the Napa guy. Like there's just like they have a deal with the local parts store when you need something. And maybe they would just have like a couple like little rental trucks. So like, hey, I need to make a run to the parts store. I forgot something. Hey, take the keys to the parts truck and go pick up whatever it is that you need.
Gotcha. Now, one of the things that I've always wanted to try, but it's expensive, is nicer tools.
Yep.
Where I'm a guy that's like, I'll spend $20 on like a cheap set because I'm only going to use it a few times.
No, I think that this plate, all of them are going to be like Snap-on or some
like
higher
Mac tools.
Yeah, something that's going to have like one, a lifetime warranty, and two, is going to be nice quality. You know, one of the reasons you'd be going there is one, they're going to have like pneumatic tools. They're going to have air lines that drop down so you can use pneumatic tools. Like how much quicker could you just rotate your tires if you had like pneumatic tools and a lip?
I don't rotate my tires because it's too difficult.
Yeah, because like if all you have is like a couple of floor jacks and a lug wrench, it's going to take you an hour to rotate your tires. If I've got a lift and a pneumatic socket, I can have my tires rotated in 15 minutes, maybe.
Right. Now, could I go with like a buddy and we rent it hourly, and we change my oil, have a drink, change his oil, and then
I really like how you're like, I already know this, so I'm just going to ask you all these leading questions so you can explain the idea.
Well, if anybody out there knows the amount of time we put into this idea.
I know. Well, one of the things that I really like about this, and we haven't covered this, so we'll kind of stop with this just because I think you get the gist. It's an auto shop. It can go many different ways. It can go super nice where we talked about TVs where you could like load up YouTube videos and
speakers so you can listen to your favorite podcast while you're doing it.
But I think one of the things that we kind of decided that we really liked about this, and it's one of my favorite things about business ideas, because there's two things I always try to turn my business ideas into. One, a subscription service,
yes,
and one into like a multi-level marketing scheme.
Yeah,
I don't really call it like I don't want to call it a pyramid, but like
but if you get 5 of your friends to rent your own bay.
No, but I like to have things where, similar to like the dating app that we talked about, or you kind of said it yourself too earlier tonight. We need a lot more jobs where people can like kind of work for themselves or work for their own. Like that should be more of a thing. So one of the things that I liked most about this idea was not necessarily just having the bays that you could rent out and work for yourself, but if you're a mechanic and you're slinging oil at the Jiffy Lube and you're a decent mechanic and Jiffy Lube's paying you $5 an hour, well, it's got to be more than $5 an hour because it's below minimum wage, but $10 an hour to change the oil, the Jiffy Lube, you could now come and rent a bay at this auto shop and then run your own mechanic business out of this shop. You don't have to pay the utilities. You don't have to pay rent other than like renting out the bay. Right. But like all you do is rent out the bay. All the tools are provided. The space is provided. And then you can work on people's cars and charge them whatever you want to do to work on people's cars. You're now your own boss. It's kind of like people who rent out cabs or barbers who rent out barber's chairs or whatever the case may be. I'm sure there's many other things like that. Those are the only two that I can think of off the top of my head.
But this is something where we facilitate the infrastructure.
Yeah, we're like a business incubator for mechanics, for newer mechanics. We're helping them get on their feet. They're not working for somebody else doing their own thing.
It also helps people that are on that grind and they have to work 9 to 5 in the day job for their families. and they want to make a little extra income on the weekends,
because
in the evening.
We also talked about this would be open 24/7. This auto shop.
There's no real reason to close the business.
Yeah, because you could somehow make it automated where to open the bay, you swipe a credit card, it opens it. RFID chips and all the tools, that would be pretty easy.
Solid idea.
So if you got a couple $100,000 and you're like, man, I want to start a business that I can almost guarantee is going to make money. Hell, I think if you owned an auto shop right now and then you just changed your hours to be open like 6 o'clock to midnight and on the weekends, you'd be like a millionaire. Because I don't know why all auto shops are only open when the majority of human beings are at work. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. The other thing is all auto dealerships are always closed Sunday. Yeah. That's 24 hours of free space.
I thought about that for a lot of businesses, auto shops being one of them, where it's like, man, you guys are like, imagine if there was a bank that was open from like, if I owned a bank, I'd be like, hey, we're only open 6 p.m. to midnight and on weekends. Because it's like every other bank is open 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock and closed on weekends when everybody else is at work. Like,
what's the point?
Yeah, I know. It drives me crazy. Like, there's so many businesses where if you just open one and we're open at night and weekends, you'd make millions because you'd be
people
the
want to
only
go
one.
Do something.
Yeah.
All right, guys, clickety clack, like and subscribe.
Clack. Yeah. Do it.
Hit the 5-star button or however many
Thumbs
stars
up,
we have.
Subscribe.
Thank you for listening to our show. To participate, send your comments or business ideas to thehangonpodcast@gmail.com. Keep us motivated by subscribing to us on YouTube and iTunes. And tell a friend. This is the Hang On Podcast. It was an honor. See you next week.